Okay, welcome everyone. Is this sound working? I hope it is, but can someone confirm? Sounds good. Perfect. Okay, welcome Dylan, Mel, Arnold, Kijos, Slatan, Daniel. Welcome to the stream. We have some interesting price action to talk about. So let me first. We just broke out of this small little range again, which is basically another rim So range, break. So this is again bullish until proven otherwise. And the strength we are seeing, it's significant. So let's quick look at the order flow. Like open interest has been ramping up since the start yesterday, gradually going higher, perps going higher. So like longs are entering, which is technically a bullish sign because you want to see. You want to see positions open in the way of the move. That shows strength. However, it's a bit weird to see that the spot is diverging so much with perps. That's usually not what you want to see because you want to see spot defend the move up, which means that if spot is buying on the move up, then if price comes down, you have a good support. Right now you have like leveraged support, which means that longs are your support. But once they start closing out, it can be a cascade effect. So pretty interesting move because you don't often see such a obvious divergence and then price still pushing higher and higher. So that's also the reason why I took that little short for the potential model 2, which obviously did not work out. And right now what you can always do, like this was the range we were looking at. So range high, range low. Then this was step 2. So then you can look like where's your deviation limit, which is that red line. And we know if price pushes strongly again above it, then technically it's more likely to get a rim C instead of a deviation move. Right now, it looks more like we get that breakout. So then you can watch like where is demand, left behind some demand here. So in case we get a move down, technically we can just treat it like a rim C until proven otherwise, which is similar to what we had yesterday, where also this was our local range. Oh. This was our initial range. And then also with this push above, we got the break, slight retrace, and then the continuation up much further. So right now, until proven otherwise, that's the it's just showing a lot of strength with just bullish continuation. And then this range is now breaking up again. So we are just continuing the bullish market structure. And then we come to the point where the range we initially used, where I already said like yesterday, I don't trust this move down. I think it's a weekend manipulation. This, which eventually turned out to be one. But now we also broke out of our former range, which was basically, this was a tab 1, this was a tab 2. So this was like our deviation. And in a range, if this is your first high, this is then your second high, then this is your new range high. So yesterday I already said like the bears have a super clean invalidation, and that is to hold this high. because price has no intention from a range perspective to go above that range again, because then you invalidate this deviation. So in my opinion, we can now see this as our new range. Range high, range low. And then this could be like the second tap. But overall, the local structure from the low up remains super, super strong. And the break here, which I talked about yesterday, was just a fake break. Right here, a fake bullish, fake bearish break to mitigate some demand, take liquidity, and just push higher. And this is also the move where a lot of people got trapped, which was to be expected with that move up. So probably what we are seeing now is also like shorts getting squeezed and then just some longs entering, and then you get those violent squeezes, as we know from Bitcoin, similar as that right here, right now. So we can actually look what are the big levels to look at. Let's clear the chart up. Then we got 12-hour market structure, like the highest market structure possible. The daily is here, I believe. The 12-hour is lower high, lower low, lower high. And here we have two candles going higher. And then this is the last lower high before this lower low. So this is our highest time frame bearish market structure, which means that break above there, and then you get like a 12-hour bullish break. And the 4-hour is a little lower. 4 hours right here. Oh, because on the 4-hour we still have low, lower high, and then the lower low. So 4 hours right here. So we should keep in mind that we are still in a high time frame bearish market structure, but we are now getting breaks above this local range. But like the real big levels is 4-hour bearish market structure right here, 12-hour bearish market structure right here, and then the supply right there, which then could align with push up, come back down, and then maybe here give the new distribution, like the model 1, before eventually going down again. And that will be like the max manipulation, because everyone was already looking at this 1, 2, 3, and then this be the 4. But they got all squeezed right now. And then here probably everyone will turn super bullish again. But we still have like this low, this low, this low. And now here also like a lot of sell side liquidity. So maybe this is like the max manipulation they're trying to fabricate, which I would actually really like. This will give some insane shorting opportunities. So the big levels to watch are then starting at 77 till around 80k, and then above like 80k is our 12-hour bearish market structure, and above there we have like this big imbalance till super strong supply, because this was our last range. This was our range low. So if you look at it in high time frame structure, we basically had from the top low, lower high. Then we broke this range back to bearish. So bearish range, low, lower high, and then we broke the range again back to bearish. So this range low is super clear and super strong horizontal resistance, basically right here. So the levels from around 77 till like 80k are super big levels. And a level where I think a lot of the early bears will get bullish. But high time frame, nothing has really changed until we start breaking confidently above here. So super interesting trading conditions. and got it now. Then let's quickly talk about the long from yesterday, which was the Model 2 accumulation. Let me get a clear chart. Because I said already, like last week we had a lot of field distribution. So we had sweep 1, sweep 2, sweep 3, sweep 4 right there, and then sweep 5, which was already why I thought like this distribution looks very weird, and why I would not be surprised to see it fail and eventually turn into an accumulation. And then I said that the highest probability play I was looking at was to take this less low, this sell side liquidity, together with this local model 1. So if we zoom in, we had that range demand below, which is basically the horizontal of this level. We had that sell side liquidity above. We had here, which was also, this was our local range with tab 1. If it wants to select tab 1 at the low, tab 1 at the high, tab 2 at the low. And at tab 2 was also a Sunday low. So a lot of times they get swept. But instead we went for the Model 2 that on Binance took extreme liquidity and then broke structure back to bullish from here, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then eventually, like, this was the bullish break, which validated this as the third tab, in which we had a valid 1, 2, 3 Wyckoff Model 2 with a super clean return to zone towards the range high, which is your local technical target. And we could extend it into all this local liquidity. So entry after your bullish break, stop loss below your third tab. And then this was the technical target. This was the liquidity trail with all the imbalances here. And eventually, yeah, we can see price expanded much higher. I took out most right here, which was like 7R or around 8R. But yeah, it made like new highs. And right now it would have been close to a 15R. It's crazy. But yeah, you should never, yeah, you can leave like a little runner for runs like this, but oftentimes it's best to just take most out at obvious levels. Otherwise you will round trip a lot of times. And right now price is not showing any signs of weakness. So this is just our new range. This is our initiation, potential mitigation, continuation. So that's what I'm looking at for, but should not forget that we are already pushing super high. So the higher we go, the less longs make sense right here. Should also not go into blind shorts because price is obviously showing a lot of strength. So the only reason, if you have a clean uptrend like this, to go short, for me at least, is to either see like a super clean 3 drive like this, and then as best is to get like local structure, then short, or get like a super clean range where we can then look for a distribution or wait for a structure to be lost. So break, lower high, and then short it. Or break below here, for example, and then play the lower high. But for now, for me, there's nothing to do here locally. Until we come back into this range demand. I'm gonna also set an alert at the former high, which is the high of March 17. And then like in these cases, you can use like the super trend. And you can see on the hourly, super bullish, did not even retest it. But also on the lower time frame, like here, on the 30, it's also super bullish. So then even coming here, that aligns with the retest of that super trend, retest of that bullish range demand, should just go higher until you get back below your demand, under that super trend, and then can expect lower. Till then, this just looks super. Like 15 is maybe the most optimal because that's closely supported to price. So then to go against the trend, wait for the 15 to break back to bearish. I do like the super trend actually more now than the session VWAP. Session VWAP is often yeah, a bit too static or so. I don't really like it. Blurs my chart a bit. But the super trend, super clean to just see the like local trends. Also, if you are more in scalping, like here on the 5 minute, all the time support. And here in the range, sometimes it flips a little bit, but right now it's pushing up again. So also if you go to like the low time frame, just do not short until the low time frame flips back to bearish. Because that's the mistake a lot of people make, is to go against the trend because you think it will reverse. But like here on the 1 minute, you have no business taking shorts here, or you're asking to get wiped out. Because what you see right here, these are literally shorts getting stopped out. Because a lot of people are now shorting. Because they either missed the longs from lower down, or they shorted the move up. And now every move up they see, they think it's a short. And the moment they stop shorting is the moment it reverses. That's the rule of the game. What about the combination of session VWAP and anchored VWAP? Yeah, that's what I used a lot, especially. But yeah, the session VWAP to me it's not super helpful. I like the super trend more, but anchored VWAPs do help a lot, and you can just pull them always from like lows, and they show more the overall trend. So from the uptrend this week, this is the anchored VWAP. But then like I will only use it if price comes back down, and then on the first bounce of the first touch of that anchored VWAP into demand, then this is a level where you can look for like local triggers, flip it, and then you continue higher. But for now, price is above it. You can look at from here, but it's not super useful. Same as the super trend, basically. Yeah, like if you see this, just don't look at the chart anymore. This is where a lot of people will get wrecked. Let's see what USDT is doing. So this perfect example of yesterday, of like this model 2 that grabbed extreme liquidity instead of like Bybit did not grab it. This was like 1, 2, 3. Then internal broke back to very, let me just show it. So we had this, this local range with tap 1, tap 2, tap 3 took out extreme liquidity. So then it's a valid tap 3 for the model 2. And then internally broke back to bearish right here on this move. This was the bearish boss. Now you can always put your deviation threshold on to see, do we get deviations or a range breakout? And here you can already see that you have like 1, 2, 3, and then the break below, and then closing below your deviation threshold, which is this red line. And then you get like perfect bearish retest of your range low, continuation lower. So this is range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. Super clean example. And right now price is breaking the local range to the downside and moving aggressively to the range low. So fresh supply getting created right here. And do we have something here? Like this is the extreme liquidity. This is the first higher low after tap 2. So can have a look at the reaction there. It could be model 2, but the way price is going down, and especially this last move, I think if we're gonna accumulate it, model 1 is gonna be more likely. So maybe then 1, 2, 3, and then reverse. So also an alert down here. And then also here we can look at the deviation threshold. Like how low can this move go? The model 1 can basically go all the way till here to be a valid deviation. So you can even do this. And then this can still be a valid deviation. Which will then align with BTC going to like the 78, 79, 80k level. So definitely interesting. And locally, yeah, this here again, down, sideways, breakdown, retest, lower. Could be level, so alert here for potential scalp shorts to lower. Let's see what Kijos has to say. I'm long silver and tau from earlier on the low time. I saw decent entries, but I know risking survive with small trades still. Also, it's too much coffee, so might be people get so bullish if Bitcoin goes to 80. It's been a while. Yeah. And I hope so. Would be good to get some excitement back in the game. And I've also seen like on X, on Twitter, they're like promoting or shilling some big things for crypto. And X always has said that they want to be like the financial app of the world. And if they implement some crypto stuff, that could be a super good boost for the market. So maybe that has also something to do with the bullish moves we are seeing. And I hope they have some great integrations, because that can give some good attention back to the markets, which will also make trading easier, because the last year and more we have been fighting against market makers. But if retail comes back, easy times are back, then it's print season. Okay, BTC is pushing higher, UST lower. I just saw ETH, so quickly want to look at ETH. Yeah, like ETH also just super strong. And ETH is like here, super big gaps. Basically all the way to here. So there's not a much that can reject price. This was the new range I shared yesterday, and we are already taking it out. But don't be fixated on shorts now just because this is a range high sweep. Just watch it. Structure always overrules. This is just a super bullish structure. And also if you see this last move up, this already shows you that it's more likely that this is just a super bullish trend instead of a distribution. So the biggest mistake you can make is to start shorting every move now because it must go down or something. That's not the case. This is also like, again, a local range breakout in which longing makes more sense than shorting. Demand creation. So backtest can offer longs. It doesn't have to happen today, but it can be that this is like the push higher, stays there for a while, and then maybe tomorrow comes back, and then you can look for continuation longs. Also here, if you want to look for shorts, like you can try it, but from my experience, it does not work out. It might work out one time, but next time you will try it and you get stopped out again and again. So best time here is to either wait for demand failure, then short the backtest like this, or wait for clear structure to flip back to bearish, or wait for the 3 drive break and then go down. We are having some big volatility. But yeah, I don't trade this. This can, in 30 seconds, this can go down here. It can also squeeze higher and then go down. So this is dangerous price action. And like in these ranges, I have an edge. Right here, I don't have an edge. So then I just wait. Same for ETH, like pushed above, now back in this demand. Local structure is, let's clean it up, get rid of that. Local structure is here. So like break below, backtest, then you can look for shorts. But you don't always have to be in a position either. I like, look. It swept extreme liquidity. It's now bouncing a little bit. That's interesting. Okay, what is gold doing? Nice little uptrend from this 4-hour demand mitigation early in the week. Now basically moving higher. Yeah, still waiting like last week for potential model 2. Right there. Beside that, not really interested in gold. Oil. yeah, still not really, not great structure to me. Just hovering around the mid-range of this big range. And can yeah, see it like a local range with range low, tap 1. This kind of being like the deviation. And now going back to the range lows. So can see what happens after sweeping the range lows. This is some supply that was left behind. So like locally, these are the POIs. This for potential model 2, or the range lows for a model 1. With liquidity right there. Yeah, not really interested. So that. Not quickly silver. What is silver doing? Skijos is yeah, what Skijos says. Oil chart looks like a meme chart from 24. Yeah, and then it's oil. It's crazy what the world has become. See silver. So yes, like silver had the almost one of the most obvious Model 1 into Model 2s, but it invalidated it and it's squeezing higher. And right now, like this is the range I was looking at, tap 1, tap 1, tap 2, and currently nearing the mid-range. Well, it's actually in the mid-range supply with sell-side liquidity below and here like a lot of buy-side liquidity above. So yeah, like locally it's bullish with this local uptrend. Again, this was an uptrend and you can watch it from a distribution perspective. But what did one again? Market structure. So locally distribution failed, which is bullish. So longs do make sense. And also here's some demand. But since it's at the mid-range and there's liquidity on both sides, yeah, it can go both ways. Could squeeze, take out all the buy side liquidity, and then reverse, and then come back for all this sell side liquidity. But often when you have a range with like tap 1, then deviation right here, and you have liquidity on both sides, then you just know that for the time being, we are likely going to range. Because the market wants to take this liquidity and this liquidity. So then you can already guess that before it took, like, depending on what goes first, but can also go down first and then go up. Then you already know that, like, for the coming weeks, price is more than likely just moving back and forth in this range. So I'm gonna keep it on my watch list because I love ranges, just not in the middle right here. Look, BTC is now getting the move down. Probably some the squeeze is over. So let's see. What's ETH? Yeah, so ETH is like potentially it was like a local distribution with 1, 2, and this just being an aggressive move above, and now getting that squeeze lower. BTC the same. There is some supply. An alert there. Let's look what is happening here. what is happening on BTC? It's crazy. Like now we see spot picking up aggressively and price going down. It's like the opposite of what normally happens, is what we are seeing. Mm, yeah, I think it's still more bullish than bearish. So I'm not really interested in shorting it. And this is where a lot of people, like either you made nice profits with the long, which I did, or you missed out and then remain patient. But a lot of times people miss the long or take a short and feel like missing out because they see price moving a lot. But like my price moving a lot doesn't matter anything. It's just about where do you find the setup. Sometimes you can find better RR setups in this chop than in a move from here to here. But mentally you think, oh, price moved 8% and I did not make money, so I've missed out. But that's your mind makes you believe that. But it's all trap. So then people want to compensate and then they start to zoom in and try to catch the top because they feel like they're too late, too long. And then you are going on the 1 minute and you zoom in like this. And then you see this and then you think, oh, I've missed it. Not realizing that everything is still bullish if we zoom out. And this can just be, especially at spot started buying super aggressively at New York Open here. Which makes it interesting because this is our range, this is our initiation. If we go back, this will be mitigation. And this demand, this is where spot started to buy heavily. So if we zoom in, like here, 30, 30, 30, that's New York Open. And then at the horizontal, like here, directly on New York Open, spot started to start buying aggressively. Which means, and you can also see it on the delta right here, in these candles, they started to buy. Which means that if price comes back to this demand, where they started buying, you can expect them to defend this level. Because like, it is not retail that's gonna buy it suddenly here. This is like a big player buying a lot of spot from here. So we can expect them to defend their positions right here, which will be in line with the range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. And most of retail is probably only fixated on shorts. So they will short every move here, and especially here, start short. But we can just follow the market structure and the RIMC and join like the big player. Because like structure is basically high, low, bullish range, breakout, higher low, higher high, until proven otherwise. And of course, this can also nuke lower, do this, but it's lower probability. It can happen, but like more often than not, if we follow just our system, this is what will happen and what will make money in the long run. So that's what I'm interested in. Ranges, yeah, ranges. You will fall in love with it. I don't think people cannot love ranges. Yeah, it can be sailor buying. That's the thing. What is the only reason where it can be bearish? is that he has a net new strategy or a new offering. And yesterday he bought like 1 billion. And he often stops at Tuesday with buying. And that's why also the past weeks we stopped out on Tuesday evening or Wednesday. So maybe if Sailor stops buying, we can take the short. But for now, like it can. But then you should bet on this being Sailor, this being his last clip of buys, and then short. But oftentimes it will just be visible in the chart. Like if you get super slow move here and then a rebreak, then I will short it. But until then, it's locally bullish until proven otherwise. But I would not be surprised at all if this is Sailor. I'm like pretty sure that it is Sailor. Because his entries are the worst of the worst. So he announcing that he bought with an average price of like 75,000 wouldn't surprise me at all. Buying above his entry prices. Like eat already. Moving lower. But yeah, also not really anything super interesting trading. Technically, you have 1, 2, 3 supply. So can look for lower high. But yeah, your target is this low. So it's not like a super obvious trade I would love to take. And then quickly looking at hype and what's hype doing? Yeah, so hype completed the 3 drive. So the 1, 2, 3 came all the way up to the range high target. And this is where you can start looking for potential distribution models. You should not forget that we have basically like high, low, high, low, high, low, high. So this is your market structure level. Plus you have demand right here and here. So it can also be like high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And then there look for distributions. So if I see this, I see, okay, this is potentially tap 2, but way too early to be something I would already love to short, besides scalps. Also the distance between tap 1 and 2, then tap 3 should anywhere be there. So maybe if you go down like here, break structure, then come up, then you can look for like model 2. But other than that, this chart is just super, super bullish. And yeah, not really seeing any. There was actually a kind of a model 2, it seems. 1, 2, 3. Left behind some supply. So you can look. If you get a retrace into there. Also because you break structure locally back to bearish right here. But that are all scalp shorts. So this is now basically range supply. With this being more refined supply. So if you come up here, break structure, it can be a short. But yeah, I would not be greedy with where to aim for. Again, not getting any alerts. Motherfuckers. Okay, so Tao swept the low. So this move stayed within the deviation threshold, so that's like valid tap 2. So then technically you can extend your range there. This is then tap 1. This is tap 2. Mm, mm, mm. 15 minutes broke back to bullish. And also mitigated some demand with this wick. But overall, are we back in the... Yeah, it's still below the value area low. So it can definitely work out. But yeah, often if you want a solid tap 2, you want to break above the value area low as well. And then you still like tap 3 is often a safer play to wait for your model 2 or get like that push above, then the break, and then look for longs. Yeah, I think for this stream, not much more to say. Mostly interested in just BTC, trading it. And watch what we do here. If we break that to the downside, then locally we are back to bearish. But until then, this technically could just be a RIMC. But yeah, would not surprise me if Sailor is out of money right now. And then this can be the weekly high, because it's also still Tuesday. So yeah. Looking forward to the workshop on order flow. It will be a fun one. Yeah, it will be. I will definitely host it because a lot of people reacted on it. But what Arnold is saying, is it gonna be a workshop or a video of 4 hours? I have to think well about it, how I'm gonna organize it. Because if I do it in my own style, then it's definitely gonna be a workshop of 4 hours. But to explain it all, but I will also include it in the course, and then I explain just like everything. But in the workshop, I will keep it very basic because you cannot explain everything. But I will probably have to prepare myself a bit for it. But it's definitely gonna be a fun one. It can be super helpful. Like Spot is buying like crazy. 54 million right here, 46 million right here. And that's more than like here 91 million yesterday or like earlier. But overall crazy buying. And we have these single prints below, so we can watch them. But yeah, beside that, not too much to say. I'm just gonna watch what we do here. But yeah, important not to force anything. Like oftentimes, like here you can think, oh, this is short. But then at the same time, if it goes here, you can also think, oh, it's a long. But oftentimes, then I ask myself, is it obvious? And then here, is it obvious to me that this is a short or long? No, not really. I can see both work out. Then it's better to just see like price come into here. Maybe form like a local tree drive, break structure, get back, and then it's obvious. And then, okay, now I want to enter. And otherwise, if you enter now, then you have a high chance that you are watching price move from here to there, to there, to there, and then watch a long time while nothing really happens. So I've just my alerts and then watch what we get. That's all spot buying those delta. No, it's not especially spot. It's like market buys. So market spot buying, market like spot is always market, or like market buying, market selling, but it can also be market longs, closing, or buying, or like shorts. If a short is closing out, then it's a market buy. So that can also be positive delta. So this can be shorts forced closing, which means that they have to buy. Or if longs are getting stopped out, then they turn into market sells, aka negative delta. So this can be spot buying, but it can also be market selling, market buying, spot. It just shows aggressiveness. But right now you see spot heavily going up. Perps also going up. So this is just likely longs or a lot of spot. Yeah, at least buying. People are aggressively buying here. Which is a weird place to be that aggressive. So it's likely Sailor. Because he loves to buy the tops. But then I would still to like to look for weakness here, potential shorts or longs here. So this can be like pretty nice scalp opportunities. ES, yeah, let me look at ES as the last one. Okay, we also have, oh, I missed, I'm not that sharp on Sol, but I see that we missed a model 2. 1, 2, 3, bullish break. And now we have a new range with potential tap 2. Okay, it can be interesting to keep an eye on from now on. To see how this range develops. This is the local structure. And if you break this to bearish, then a model 2 is more likely. Stay above here, or SFP it, then a model 1 can still happen, or just a range breakout. Let me put an alert there. And one above. To see how it develops. And ES, yeah, it's crazy how strong this is again. Like look, look. It's doing the same as it is doing over and over again. Like heavy crash and just full reverse. Here, sudden crash, full reverse. Now again, crash, just squeezing up. It looks like the bar. This is. It's not even that far from like 1% and it's back at all-time highs. Like nothing has ever happened. Crazy. The EAT is breaking down, which is then also breaking hourly structure back to bearish. Which then is a pretty clean distribution in which a lower high can look for short potentially there. So alert in that box. BTC is nearing this level. This is key because if you break below here, then it could cascade quite a lot lower as well. But until that happens, this is range, break, retest, higher. Until proven otherwise. Which is either demand failure, and then look for the lower high, or we can look for local longs here. So that's the plan locally. Yeah. Sailor showed his hand. Okay, so that was it. Let's see. I will update in the Discord if see something interesting. But for now, just observing and waiting for the next clean setup. Like yesterday, I showed it. When it's clean, it is clean. Like that model 2 right here, just picture perfect, and that will eventually come again. But just have to wait for the clean models, and then you can just rest for the just wait for the new trades. Thanks everyone, and then I see you in the Discord and tomorrow. Cheers.